I've done it right. So I have decided to jump on today and do a live, and I didn't schedule it. I knew I was going to do one again sometime this week, and I did not schedule it. And honestly, that is partly my own self-protecting nerves, really, because this is something I'm very new to. So it felt somehow safer to me if I didn't tell anyone I was going to do it. And I just did it when the time seemed right, which might sound strange, but there you have it. That is what I decided to do. So it has been a busy week, and today has turned really busy. So I've changed the time that I decided to do this. I'm doing it at a bit earlier. Hey, hello people. Hi, Misty. Hey, Mike. So I am out in my front garden, and like I said, I have decided I did not schedule when I was going to do this live, which is mainly just me being nervous about doing a live, and I felt kind of safer if I decided to not tell anyone and just jump on when I felt ready. But what I'm going to do today is I have a little fun something to show you, which this might not be new to you, but it's new to me, and I'm really excited to have this in my garden. And then we're going to have a little chat, and then if you want, you can go ahead and ask any questions, and I will try and keep an eye on them. I have to wear my glasses when I'm doing a live because there is just no chance of me reading things on this little phone without my glasses. So hello, have faith in the gardener. Yay, I love your title, your name. Colorado, welcome. Misty, I can't remember where you are. Where are you? Are you north? I'm trying to remember because I know your name. Yes, so the compost pile thing is still happening. But it's not there yet. So what I want to show you today is these cute little things. Oh, Florida. Okay, you're not north, you're south. Okay, cool. Look at these. Have you guys grown these before? Aren't they just the cutest? They are lemon squash, and a viewer actually sent me the seeds. I didn't even know these were a thing. They are absolutely adorable. And they're really coming into fruit now. And so this is the second harvest. I've got 6 out of the garden this morning. And hi, Alberta, Canada. Hey, good to have you here. So I got about 6 out of the garden this morning, and there's a heap more on. I've only got 2 plants, so I'm going to make sure that I let one of them go to seed and like grow out. No, they do not taste like lemons. They taste like squash. They taste like a yellow squash, like a zucchini, but they're just shaped like a lemon, and they are so super cute. I love them. So I definitely want to save seeds from these so that I can grow them again next year. And I wish I remembered the name of the lady that sent these to me. She sent me a bunch of seeds from a community garden that she ran, the community garden, and I think they had to sort of close down the garden or hand it on to someone else or something. And she sent me these seeds, but they are so adorable. Like, I want these in my garden always now. And then regular zucchini that is slowly coming in, but sadly my regular zucchini plants have been attacked by, I think it's a vine borer. I don't know if I'm going to get any more off of those. Hello, Louisiana. Yeah, please tell me where you guys all are if you're watching, and if you haven't already told me. And the other thing I'm excited about is I love radishes. Not everyone in my family loves radishes, but I do. I love having them in the garden whenever it is the right time to grow them. I eat them for breakfast, I eat them for lunch, I eat them for dinner. Like, I just love radishes. And I've always grown either the little round red ones or the French ones, and there's these longer ones that are sort of white on one end and pink on the other, and they kind of blend in the middle. They're kind of pretty. But I grew these white ones this year first time I've grown them. They're an heirloom variety. And I ate one the other day for the first time, and I was really surprised. They're super mild, and they're not, like, I like the bit of bite in them, but I'm going to see if my kids like these because they're not, hey, fishing gang, they're not spicy. Like, I picked a red one the other day, and it had so much bite in it that it made my eyes water. And I like that, but my kids definitely don't. So I'm going to see if if the kids will eat these. They're really mild, which is kind of cool if you don't like the bite. So the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about today that has just been on my mind a lot, I must remember last time I did a live, I completely forgot to drink my tea, and it was stone cold when I finished, is books. Do you guys read books? I'm a big book person. I love books, and I've been thinking lately how much the books I've read have shaped my gardening life and definitely my homestead life, my thoughts around how I want to do it, and even just the way I want my garden to look. Like right now, there is nothing like English breakfast tea. There is just nothing like it. So right now, I'm going to show you my current book stack. And I constantly will have, so these are my books I'm reading right now. I usually will have about 10 on the go at the time. And it totally depends the mood I'm in as to what kind of book I want to pick up. So I have started collecting, this isn't really a book, but I have started collecting these Backwards Home magazine. This one's called Grit. They're sort of homesteading magazines, and I'm not subscribed to any of them. Like, extra subscriptions is just not something I can do right now. But it's amazing how many people have a prescription for things like this, and then they want to read it, and then they don't want it anymore. And so I've had a number of friends give me old magazines that they don't want anymore, and it's really timeless information. Like, there's recipes, there's gardening advice, all kinds of some of them are historical articles that are just of interest. But I've started collecting these because I think I love having a written copy of things. I don't want to be 100% reliant on the internet all the time. So I have been reading through these. Actually, I sorted through a pile that I have, hunting for ice cream recipes. That's why I was looking at them, because I noticed, like, this one says homemade ice cream, and I do not have an ice cream machine. And I know that you can make it without, but so far all the recipes I have found, even these ones sadly, are recipes for for using an ice cream machine. So I am trying to find ones that a way to make, because I know the children would love it while we've got the fresh milk, if I can have a recipe for ice cream. The other one I'm reading is, I found this the other day at a book sale. So our local community, because we homeschool our kids, and once a year they do a homeschool curriculum secondhand book sale kind of deal. A Ninja Creamy. So is that specifically for ice cream, Misty, or is that just like, it sounds like maybe it is Ninja Creamy. I haven't heard of that. Yeah, all sorts of natural. Yeah, see, I used to make ice cream, and I used to make sorbet in Australia, and I didn't have an ice cream machine, but I had a Thermomix, which does all sorts of cool things. But I found this. It's Sally Fallon Morell's Nourishing Traditions book of baby and childcare, and I don't have babies anymore, but it's actually, this has a lot of really good natural remedies and advice about just kind of regular childhood illnesses. And I've been wanting a copy of it for ages, but it wasn't ever at the top of the list. And when I found it for $5 at a secondhand store, I was like, I gotta get that. Milkshake, smoothies, sherbets. Okay. Yeah. So does it do ice cream? I'll have to look into that. I'm also reading, and the other thing is, like, I do love books. I love reading. It's a big part of my life, but I will say I am very limited on my time. So it's not like I can ever really spend long hours reading. I don't get to read every single day. The best ice cream. Oh, cool. I'll have to look at that. So some of these books have taken me a long time to get through. I'm reading Jayber Crow right now. I think I've even mentioned it on here before. I'm nearly done, but I'm really loving that. That's a novel by Wendell Berry. I'm also reading his Unsettling of America, which I am about halfway through. That's another one that's taken me a long time, not because I'm not enjoying it. I am. I just find with that book in particular, I have to be not too tired. I have to be able to have the attention to give to it. And a lot of times, the time when I have to read is right before I go to bed. I can be a little bit exhausted by then. Now I'm doing an online book club with a few friends, and we're reading Mere Motherhood by Cindy Rollins, which I guess is a memoir, but focused on like parenting, homeschooling, that kind of thing. She is amazing. I've been following her for years. And then a lot of these books, I'm also reading, I'll finish my thought first. Anne of Green Gables I'm reading that aloud to Gracie. And I mean, I've read it and watched all the movies and loved it when I was a kid, and she is really enjoying it. So that's a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying kind of revisiting that whole world with my daughter. That's really nice. And so that one, and the other one I'm rereading reading aloud to the kids right now, to the youngest 4, is The Secret Garden, and by Frances H. Burnett. And I have read this before aloud, but it was to the older group of kids. So like we've got 7 children, and I read aloud this to the oldest 3. Like Caleb would have been there, but he would have been quite little. And the younger ones don't remember it at all. But it's so good. I had to reread it with the next lot now that they're sort of ready for it. And I was thinking this morning, because the other big literary influences in my life have been, like, I'm a Tolkien fan through and through. I love The Lord of the Rings, but The Hobbit, all of his writing, and C.S. Lewis. And I was thinking about, Anne of Green Gables and The Secret Garden, and how much these books have shaped my love of gardening. Even though they're not gardening books, they're novels, but you can totally tell how much, and I spoke about this briefly the other day, Rudyard Kipling, in his poetry and in some of his books, you kind of soak in how much they loved the garden, how much they loved creation, and not just the garden, but like the forest and the trees and things that just grow, God's world. You can kind of feel that in their writing. And I really think that's had a big impact on me, and how much I love the garden, and how I plan my garden, and how I want it to feel, and how I want it to look and seem. So I don't know. It was this weird sort of crossover that I hadn't really thought about before. I know when I was a small child, I read a book, and I do not know the name of the book or the name of the author or anything. I really wish I could find it again. I have looked, oops, don't press buttons, girl. I have looked in bookstores and secondhand stores trying to find this book. It was a picture book, and it was about, I don't really remember the characters. I just remember the house was full of plants, and the plants kind of took over the inside of the house and grew up like a jungly forest, but in the house. But it wasn't in a scary way. It was in a Like this was a picture book for little kids. And I remember I found it awe-inspiring and like, oh, that is so cool. I would love to live in a house that just had, vines growing over the doorways and plants growing up around the windows. And it was just, I really wish I could find that book because it clearly really impacted me, because I think of it often when I'm just going about my life. But yeah, so I'm curious to know, have books had that impact on you? Have you found a connection between your reading life in the garden, your reading life in the homestead? I've got one more book here I didn't tell you about. Just one more. So I love poetry, and I am reading this anthology, which is a really old book. The spine is missing. It's like really, really old. It's called The Golden Treasury of the Best Songs and Lyrical Poems in the English Language by Oxford University Press. And it's just a mix. And some of them I don't like, some of them I love. And I would say, I can't remember if this is one I picked up at a garage sale, or if I did inherit a big box of books from my grandfather who loved poetry. So I can't remember now if it's one of his. I think it might be one that I got at a garage sale. But I love reading through that. Just words are so powerful and create such amazing images. So, do you like to read books? And if you do, what kind of books do you like to read? And do you think they've done that for you? Like, have they shaped you in that way and shaped your gardening experience? Did you guys just see that? There's a red cardinal right above my head on the branch. And I think I was wondering if I sat here, but probably me talking is going to stop them from coming, because they come and sit right here in the bird feeder. And there's been a couple of squirrels that have been coming and sitting there as well. So yeah. So anyway, I've just been thinking a lot about that, about books and about how they shape you. I mean, it was a long time ago I read Narnia, and I've reread it with the children, and I've reread The Lord of the Rings with the children. But I think those things too, they obviously just had a real reverence and love for the natural world. Maybe that's the way to put it, just the natural world, whether it's a garden or just a forest that you're walking through, and I do think that has greatly impacted me, and the way I look at the garden and the way I plan it even. Like, I'm not really one for, and I do have some straight rows of things, but I love a more cottagey garden look and stuff planted everywhere. So yeah, let me know what you think and what you're reading. Yes, The Secret Garden is definitely one of my favorites, and it is one you can reread, I think. Another book that I have read like that's made a big impact on me is Little Men by Louisa May Alcott. So she's more well known for Little Women, which I also love, but Little Men is an amazing book. And again, I feel like there's just, I don't know if it was that generation, if there's just a different way of looking at the world, maybe. I don't know. But it's the kind of book that I could read again and again and again. Yeah. Just checking if I haven't missed any questions here. Let me know if you do have any questions. Been in the classroom for almost 3 years. We're hoping to buy a property this year and move both mums with us. Oh, wow. Cool. I've been reading books on homesteading, preserving, gardening, and now dementia care. Oh, Misty. Yes, I feel you. I don't know if I have shared this before, but my dad passed away in 2020, and he had Lewy body dementia, and he had that for years undiagnosed, and he also had Parkinson's. And my mum cared for him for years, and at the end she couldn't. It became very difficult at the end, but she cared for him at home for a long time. And then it got to a point where my brother, I have two brothers, and we would rotate. They lived a couple of hours from us on 80 acres, and it got to where mum really couldn't be alone with dad, because it wasn't really safe for her. Not that he was trying to hurt her or anything, but she didn't have the physical strength to handle him. And yeah, I think if we had been all closer together, so it got to where that my brothers and I had to tag team, and one of us had to be there all the time. And as long as one of us was there, that was okay. But we lived, like, I was the closest. One of my brothers and I, we were 2.5 hours away, and my other brother was like 5 hours away. So I can see it would have been very different if we were able to be on the same property. So I really hope that works out for you. It is a wonderful and a beautiful thing to be able to care for the older generation. I mean, we have Nini and Popo's house. I'll see if I can show you. Right there, that little white house with the porch at the back. And you know, they're needing more and more support. They're still pretty independent, but it's great just having them right there for whenever they need us. Yeah, so I hope that works out for you, Misty. That sounds great. And so what are your favorite books on homesteading? So I think for us, there's what is the name of that book? There's Sean and Beth Doherty's book. See, I didn't bring that book out here, those books out here with me. Hey, New Jersey, welcome. Okay, you work from home? Yes. Okay, yeah, that's great. That sounds like that's gonna work out. Oh yes, I've got Jess's book too. It's great too. Yep. And Justin Rhodes's book is a good first one, especially if you haven't done a lot of it before. Polyface Micro from Joel Salatin is really good on a very practical, like, to do practical outworking of things. Sean and Beth Doe's the Farmstead, something Farmstead. Anyway, can't remember the exact name of it, but it's really good. Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to, Sean and Beth Doherty's one, whatever it's called, something Farmstead, I think it's called. I'll try and show it on the next video that I do. Polyface Micro, The Rooted Life, I think, is Justin Rhodes's one. And again, I think if you can get a hold of these kind of magazines, they're not books, but they have a lot of really good information in them. Hello from North Carolina. Hello, Ida. Good to have you. Oh, yeah. Yes. So some of those herb ones are really, they just have so much information and they're great, but they can be very, very, I actually found Nourishing Traditions like that. It's huge, and it's got by Sally Fallon Morell, and it's very, very good. It's like something I refer to regularly, but I didn't sit down and read it cover to cover. Some people do, but I'm probably not that way minded, if but I do think these kind of magazines are good to collect, because even though they have a date on them, it really doesn't matter. The information is timeless, and you'll be able to refer back to them and flip through them and find things you might be looking for. Have faith in the gardener. I have Jess's book and also refer to it often. Yeah. Yep. The other one that's good as far as herbs go is Doc Jones, the Homegrown Herbalist. I don't have his book yet, but it's on my list, and I have learnt a lot from him. I've done a couple of his classes that are, he's got he does 2 different classes through the School of Traditional Skills, and then he does his own classes, I think, from his website, I guess you would go to. I've done the Herbal First Aid course, and when you do those courses, like he has 2 books, I believe. I think it might just be called the Homegrown Herbalist, the first one, but then there's a second one which I think is foraging. It's a foraging book, I think. I'll have to check that, but he is worth looking up. He is really, really good. His information is excellent. I've done his Herbal First Aid course and his Herbal Cold and Flu course, and they were both excellent. And you get a handbook with those. That I refer to that all the time. Herbal handout. Yes, yes. It's very, very good. It's very good. Yeah, he's one I refer to a lot. I mean, like I've talked about before, like there's so many things I have learnt from the internet. I mean, I know it's a bit of a situation where you've got to nowadays be very careful how you're looking it up and because AI has just done a real disservice to the world. I think you just don't know if what you're getting is good information. So I try and go back to just people that I know I can trust the source. So Homesteading Family has a lot of really good how-to things. I have learned a ton in the garden from Jess on Roots and Refuge. As far as gardening goes, she's probably my first point of contact, or place I will look up. But also, I have learned a lot from Justin Rhodes, and he's not, yeah, Doc Jones's videos are excellent. Yes, he's hilarious. He really is. He's a bit of a dag. Do you use that word over here, dag? He's a bit of a dag, but he is funny, and he knows his stuff. He knows what he's doing, so he's very easy to listen to. Oh, thanks, Misty. Yeah, let me think. I'm just trying to think of other resources that I sort of go to. And I wish I could, the number of times, and this is when I am just really grateful for the internet, because there are people who are putting information out there. That's what I was saying. Justin Rhodes, he does more of a vlog style in his videos, but over the years, we have learnt a lot from him. The setup we have with our chickens doing the compost is because of what we learnt from him. Joel Salatin, I have a lot of Joel Salatin books. I love Joel Salatin, and he was sort of the first one we ever read. I had a good friend of ours, and that's the other thing. If you can find a friend, you don't use the word dag. A dag, I don't know what the word would be over here, the equivalent. I'll have to ask my husband. He'll probably know. I'm not sure what the equivalent is. A dag is kind of like someone who's a bit goofy maybe, but funny, and yeah, I don't know how to define that. Yeah, so we have even people who maybe don't have, now he then went ahead and wrote his book, The Rooted Life, and it does have some information in it that's very helpful. But we did learn a lot from watching his vlogs. And Joel Salatin actually also has a podcast that he does with Zena McCulloch. it's kind of behind a paywall. He used to do it very openly and not, you didn't have to pay, but it's a very minimum amount that you, like, I think you can pay as little as $5 or something for it a month. I'm not sure about that. I might have that wrong. But the reason he ended up putting it behind the paywall was because he was dealing with censorship problems. And if there is a membership, then it sort of protects him and he can share whatever he wants to share without having that issue. But I do know he has a lot of content on there of how to do things. And he has now got a lot of things on YouTube. Even though he might not per se have his own YouTube channel, I think he's releasing some of his lunatic farmer content on YouTube these days. You can find quite a bit for free. Yes, I do love Ruth Ann Zimmerman, and I have learned a lot from her, especially kitchen things, preserving, because preserving things is pretty new to me in the last couple of years. I mean, I've done some dehydrating over the years, but as far as learning to can, that's all pretty new. Becky at Acre Homestead, yes. Okay, opposite climate. And yeah, and that is true. That's something that does make a big difference. And one of the reasons, I mean, I think you can learn from people no matter where they are. You just have to keep that in mind. You know, where are they? What's the climate where they are? What things might I have to adjust? For me, it's really handy that I'm in Texas. Jess is in South Carolina, but it's still in the south enough, and our zones are similar enough that I can often look and think, well, what's Jess planting right now? Because I'm having to learn that all over again and figure out when to plant what and how the seasons work here. So I think if you do have the ability to find someone who is in a similar climate, even if they're not in the exact same state, it can make a big difference. Yeah. Goofball. Oh, that's funny. Goofball. Yeah, it has been so wet. But it's actually, I don't know. I'm probably, it'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, that's enough. But when you've lived in a really arid climate where water is a really big, like, water is like gold in Queensland, and even not just in Australia in general, there are a lot of places, like, I know there's a terrible drought in South Australia right now, and there are farms that are having to sell off all of their cattle because there's nothing left but dirt, like literally dirt, and they're having really big dust storms, and makes me very, very grateful that we have good rain here. Yes, the potatoes. I was wondering that myself, and I actually was out there this morning, and I think the potatoes that are along the side fence near the compost might be ready. I really need to just make time to get out there. I was thinking probably tomorrow morning, go out there with the kids and see if we can dig them up. They're starting to all die back as well, and we have raised the beds up, because I do know from other local gardening friends that, like, I have one friend who lost a lot of her potatoes last year because of the spring rains and the ground getting too waterlogged and all of the potatoes rotted. So I am kind of, because of her experience and listening to her, I'm like, okay, I've got to watch out for that. I need to be careful. It has been really wet. Yes, I did raise the beds up, and I do think that has helped tremendously. But I also want to be careful, because I kind of, like, locals have told me you just never know when that last storm is going to be, and then we go into summer. Hey, Janelle. If you go into summer and that's it, like, you can have a couple of months of absolutely not a drop. And they have told me you never really know when that last storm is going to come. Like we might, by this time it might have already been. And it's actually feeling really humid today. And they've said we might get more rain this week. So I don't know whether we've had the last storm, but yeah, it's just trying to, it's amazing the degree to which the weather really dictates what you have to do. And you can't always do the same this year that you did last year because the weather patterns might be a bit different and everything might have varied. And like I've noticed this year with my zinnias, and I posted a picture on Instagram. I'm on Instagram as 9 Little Aussies if you are on there, because I posted a picture this morning in my stories asking advice, because my zinnias last year thrived. They were amazing. They had beautiful blooms like the entire spring and summer. And this year I've had several die back already and have this kind of mottly, I don't know if it's a fungus or if it's some kind of disease or something attacking them, and it's like they're all dying. And I found another one this morning just in this one bed. The other beds so far are okay, so I don't know what that is, but you know, different experience this year to last year. And I think that's pretty normal when you're gardening. Like you can make your plans, but it depends what the weather does to know exactly. Okay. Oh, so you have a wet and a dry, Misty. So dry season now and monsoon season coming. Okay, so that is similar to Queensland. We have the wet season and the dry season in the north in Queensland. We do not have 4 seasons. We don't call it a monsoon season or hurricane. Yeah, so in Australia we have cyclones and the big wet that comes in the summer. So yeah, same kind of idea. And then the dry season is in the winter. So you don't end up, but I don't know, does it stay green in Florida? Because in Queensland, in the dry season, like everything just dries back to bare bones until the rain comes again. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm going to have to go out there. I just hope the potatoes are okay. I feel like this spring, I don't know. I feel like this spring's been wetter than last spring. Okay, so it stays green. That's cool. Very humid, yes. Do you like the humidity? I don't mind the heat, but I'm not a big fan of humidity. But here, it's very humid here in East Texas. Very humid. I guess that's how it's, you know, like so green. I don't know, you can probably see actually. There's blue behind those clouds, but I think I heard a rumble before, so we might be getting some rain directly. So yeah, it does vary. I reckon it varies a lot depending on your weather. And we've only been here less than 2 years on this property, so it'll be 2 years in September that we've been on this property, and that's not a lot of time when it comes to keeping a track of patterns and knowing what your land is going to do in a certain season. You know, we've really only had one full set of seasons here, and that's really not enough to Arizona heat was better. Ice and snow. See, I can't even say if I prefer it to ice and snow because I don't really know. I don't really know. Yeah, I bet it was dry up there in Arizona. Yeah, it's definitely not dry here. I can actually feel, this is a crepe myrtle I'm sitting underneath. And did you guys, you probably know this, did you know it's like they rain on you and you feel like drops when you're under them? It's very cooling. And I don't know what it is, but the ones at the back do the same thing. And I thought I was imagining it. And then my friend the other day, who's grown up here, said her grandmother had these trees, and whenever you stood under them, it would feel like you were getting drops of rain on you. Hi, Jill. How are you? Good to see you. So yeah, I don't know if crepe myrtles in general do that all the time, but these ones seem to, and they are beautiful. I do like them. Some people around here don't seem to like them because there's so many of them. Maybe that's why. But I do feel like maybe, you know, as much as I don't like the humidity, I think that the humidity kind of helps the growth of the plants, because plants just seem to grow like crazy. Hello, Pick and Coop Farmstead, Northern California. Hello, Chris, Amarilla. Good to have you guys. Yeah, it's climate's a funny thing, and even though we've only been here the 1 year, I've been thinking about that a lot. I'm like, this spring's different to last spring. So I guess you just never know. You never know what's going to happen. So, yeah. Alrighty, guys. Oh, you're in the hospital, Jill. I hope you're okay. I did not see that. Sorry, I missed that. I wonder if I missed any other questions. Yeah, Jill, I hope you're okay. Just scrolling back up here to check I didn't miss any. Alrighty. Well, I think, guys, I'm gonna say goodbye. Before I go, one thing I did want to tell you, I think if there is enough interest, and like I said, I started this live and the last one without scheduling it, without telling anyone. I mentioned this at the beginning because honestly, I find them a little nerve-wracking, and it just made me feel a little bit more comfortable to just randomly get on and think, well, maybe there won't be anyone on there, and then that'll be okay. Which I will get better. I will grow through that. But right now I'm just, because it's so different to filming a video, editing it, and then putting it up. When you're live and there's all these buttons here on the side and there's a chat going, and I'm like, did I do it all right? And what is that button for? And what am I supposed to do? There's just too many unknowns. And I did try and do it on my laptop, and that I could not figure out. Like, there's too many technical hurdles that I wasn't able to jump over. So I've gone with the phone, and yeah, we'll see how we go with that. So I am thinking once a week. If you guys are interested, I'm thinking of doing a live once a week, and I will be brave and schedule it. And we can just have a cuppa and a chat, and sometimes I might talk on a particular subject that is relevant at the time. And other times, you know, we can just see where the conversation goes. We'll see what happens. So let me know your thoughts on that. I would love to get a little bit of feedback. And I will, I'm going now to take, so this is the balancing act I'm working with right now, is keeping the garden going. We're homeschooling a little because, as I've mentioned before, we're planning to take October off because we have some friends coming from Australia, which is so exciting. So we're still schooling a little bit. The garden is going, but there's a lot of other little summer activities happening. So I'm going to, see what we can do to fit it all in. That is my aim. All right, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again really soon. Sunshine and raindrops. And I'll try and figure out how to turn this thing off.